Hey guys, what's up? Perfect Welch here. Sorry for the long wait, but it's been 2 weeks and nobody's asked questions in a few days. And, better late than never, I suppose. And today I'm gonna finally do the Q&A. Now I want to remind everyone that some of these questions may be out of order on the comment section, but that's because I copied them to a Google Doc. So, I'll see what I can do here. I'm going to start off with Sonic Shadows questions. Alright, first question. What do you think of Amy Rose in the Sonic series? And the side thing he put was, to me, she's not that bad, and has had a lot of potential going for her. Well, I used to be one of the people that used to hate her character, but now that I think I've grown up and mature, I've kind of realized her character isn't that bad, and yeah, I do like her and she does have a lot of potential, but I won't sit here and say she hasn't had her mishaps, like, I guess starting off with her history, Sonic CD, she wasn't that important, but she made a decent first impression at the time, and she had other appearances in classic games, but I think the main appearance that really made her a star was Sonic Adventure, which her appearance in that was probably her best appearance still, in my opinion, I actually enjoyed her gameplay, unlike some, and I liked her story. I liked her story of, kind of growing up to learn to be more dependent for herself. And I like her little story with the little birdie. That was really cute, and she was very involved in Gamma's story, and Gamma's story may be one of the best written stories in all of Sonic, and it's really sad. And I like when she defeats Zero, the robot, and she actually saves the bird family. That was a really good moment. I like her. And I say, too, she didn't do as much because she wasn't playable. But she makes up for it by, saving Sonic, and then she had a really good scene with Shadow in that game, and her character's alright. Heroes, though, it's kind of where things start to get 50-50 for me. Okay, I like that she is just helping out her friends Cream and Big, but her obsession with Sonic is just annoying in that game. It's like, Sonic, this time there's no way out of Mary. Like, Jesus, we get it, you love Sonic. Shadow the Hedgehog, she wasn't that important, but her character was fine, and her concern for Cream was good. Sonic 06, I like that she's trying to help out Silver, but that one line ruined her. If I had to choose between the world and Sonic, I would choose Sonic. What? What? Just, why? Why did anyone think that was an okay line to add in the game? That just makes her seem like some deranged sociopath. Some of the handheld games did her alright. The advanced games, she was fine. Battle, she was just being Sonic's fangirl and just being annoying and bratty. Same thing with Sonic Rush. Sonic Unleashed was actually, sure, she was an NPC, but I really liked her role, and I really thought it was sweet that she didn't care what Sonic looked like. She loved Sonic for the hero he was. And I don't remember her too much in the Riders games, besides Free Riders, but I'll get on to that. But, Black Knight, I understand, at least I understand where she was coming from being angry at Sonic that time. And then there was Free Riders, which is her worst appearance. She is just insufferable in that game, in my opinion. And, yeah. And then the rest of the games, that point onward, because they were scared of actually making her a character, she's just the token girl of the main cast. Her personality is just girl. Yeah. And I do think the comics like Archie and Fleetway and IDW, I think they do a pretty good job with Amy. She's, she loves Sonic, of course, and that's fine, because that's kind of the reason why she exists. It's a big part of her character. But at the same time, I do think, she needs her own stuff, and, she's pretty awesome in those series. Like, she's actually a character I can take seriously. And stuff like IDW and Archie and Fleetway and stuff. So overall, I would say I like her, and I agree, I think she has a lot of potential. I would like if they actually followed up on her stuff in SA1, because they could bring it up any time, and it'd be natural, and just do more stuff with her in general. I wouldn't even mind playing as her again, really. You know, I don't know if she'll be in Frontiers or not. I know there was a theory that she's a ghost because her Japanese voice actress was also in the Frontiers trailer, which, you know, by that logic, because Jason Griffith did Shadow, Jet, and Sonic at one point, that would mean they're all the same characters. Like, yeah, no. That doesn't make any sense. But, yeah, that's my opinion on Amy. I think I've kind of went on for this one for 5 minutes. Jeez. Anyways, on to the next question. What is your opinion on the Sonic movie now? And judging by that trailer, what do you think about the sequel thus far? I thought the Sonic movie was pretty good. I enjoyed it. You know, Ben Hurst, he was actually a pretty good Sonic. And I like, sure, he's not game Sonic, but as his own thing, he's pretty good. I liked his dynamic with Donut Lord Tom. You know, I didn't expect much from it at first because I thought it was just going to be, you know, the typical Alvin and the Chipmunks-esque movie, but with Sonic. I thought at best it was going to be me, but no, it was actually pretty good. And I'm actually excited for the Sonic movie too, you know. I'm excited for Tails in that movie, and I'm very excited for Knuckles in that movie, you know. But anyways, that's kind of my opinion. I don't want to drag on about that. Sorry, audience. But yeah, Sonic movie, really good movie, you know. And I am excited for the sequel. Do you think nostalgia fanboys... Oh, number 3. Do you think nostalgia fanboys who overpraise the decade they grew up with, like it's so perfect and has no flaws? Yeah, no decade was perfect, I agree. And are part of the reason why we have gotten crappy reboots and rehashes in terms of TVs and movies? I would say that's a half yes. Like, I think the reason we are getting a lot of reboots that I am personally just sick and tired of seeing all the time, you know, is because, well, I think part of that is, 1, Hollywood has ran out of ideas, and 2, a lot of the audiences are unoriginal and unimaginative, and they just want to suck on the past, which, yes, I get it. That stuff was good, but I kind of want to evolve the entertainment industry, you know? Like, I would honestly rather have something that was good in the past be left alone than just be remade. Like, if they're gonna remake it, or they make a sequel, and it's good, I'm all down for it, you know? But I think that it's part of the reason. But yeah, okay, you guys know me, I've praised the 80s, I've praised the 90s, but, you know, no decade is perfect. You know, there have been some things from the 90s that did kind of suck, and even some things from the 80s and 2000s and all that stuff, you know. But yeah, I would say you're part right on that, you know. I think it is because Hollywood is unoriginal, and because, you know, people just keep demanding it because, you know, people are scared of trying new things, which I kind of hate. You know, like, you gotta try new things, you know, because that's how these things got popular in the first place, you know? Anyways. Number 4. What is your version of an ideal society if you ran society? What would you do to change it all, and how would you run it? Okay. First of all, with the world we're living in right now, I think society needs a super hard reset. Like, just start from scratch, you know? Like, though, if I were starting from scratch, I wouldn't start from, like, the caveman ages and medieval and stuff, whatnot. You know, I would actually start from normal human civilization. You know, people are not going to be as stupid. You know, there aren't going to be any monopolies in any industry. You know, like, there at least has to be, you know, 3 competitors in each business. Maybe just 2 in the wrestling business, at least, you know. You know, I think I could probably make this my own video. Politicians are not going to be corrupt. There'd be a lot of stuff that would change, but, you know, I can't think of everything right on my head right now, but that's some basic stuff, you know. Honestly, I do think the world just needs a hard reboot. You know, like, again, like you brought up with every movie and every video game being remade, you know. And then I'm like, well, you know what? I think the world needs a reboot. A big, hard reboot. You know, I would like to help out the environment more, while also kind of keeping the respect to society and, towns and such. But yeah, that's that. The basics, just. Number 5. In terms of pop culture, do you think the 2010, or not 2010s, 2000s was that bad? Like, what is your opinion on the 2000s in terms of pop culture? I'll be honest, I didn't think the 2000s was actually all that bad. Like, okay, there were some flaws, and of course, 9/11 happened in the 2000s, but I would say it was pretty good. Wrestling was still alright. We got TNA in their prime. Ruthless Aggression era was pretty good. Still, not the Attitude Era, but still pretty good nonetheless. Still enjoyable. Cartoons were really good. Both Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network especially had some good stuff going on. I think if I am to keep on doing YouTube, I might make some videos on those. Video games were great. The or the 6th gen, PS2, Dreamcast, Xbox Original, and GameCube, all amazing systems. And I think the first half of the 7th gen was not bad. I liked, and I did like the Wii, Xbox 360, and PlayStation 3 all as well. I thought they were all good consoles. With all pretty good games. But yeah, that's that. What else? Movies were still decent. Like, we still had some pretty good comedies, and we still had some good action movies. And DreamWorks and Pixar were at their prime, with DreamWorks having stuff, like Shrek and Kung Fu Panda, and, Pixar having stuff like Toy Story and The Incredibles and whatnot, some pretty good stuff. I would say the 2000, yeah, there were some flaws. Like, a lot of that stuff was kind of having a decline. Oh, also, anime was pretty good in the 2000s. Because that's when we got the big three, Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, all that stuff, So yeah, I would say the 2000s was a decent decade. Not perfect, but it was a decent decade. So yeah, that's all of Sonic Shadow's questions. So I'm going to get on to the next person. I would like to get on to Jared Ramirez. First question. Thoughts on Facebook having a new name? I think it's Meta. Okay, the name Meta just sucks in my opinion, but other than that, I really could care less. Like, if I'm being honest, I do have a Facebook, but the only reason I really have a Facebook is to stay in touch with, like, really close friends and family members. Because other than that, if it weren't for that, I would not really even use Facebook, like, at all. I'd probably, like, if it weren't for that, I'd probably delete it, Because I really don't see that much of a value in Facebook, really. Especially since Mark Zuckerberg, I do not like Mark Zuckerberg. I think he is corrupt. And, that's that. But, like, yeah. That's my thoughts, essentially. Number 2 from Jared Ramirez. Does it even matter what people around anymore that think of someone's taste in certain stuff, like video games, music, movies, TV, and all that? Books and whatnot. Honestly, no. Like, as long as, to me, I really, honestly, could care less about what your opinions are. Like, as long as you're not, how would I put it, as long as you're not, like, harassing people for what they like, and as long as you're not, telling them that they have to like this or they have to like that, and you're not shoving stuff down people's throats, and as long as you don't like something immoral, something like murder or, rape or anything like that, well, that's not fiction, but, stuff in general, but, like, honestly, no, it doesn't really bother me what someone thinks of stuff, It's the way they go about it, in my opinion. Like, you can like something, You just have to, maybe just not respect others' opinions, just acknowledge them. You can maybe say their opinions are somewhat flawed, but, or you disagree with certain points, but, that's that, Again, it's not what they think, it's how they act, essentially. Alright. And number 3 as question is, have you ever had possibility of moving to a certain area that you feel is safer for you from the area you're not a fan of living? I really have never had an opportunity to move. I definitely won't anytime soon because I do not have the money. But I would probably want to move out of this country at some point, to be honestly, because it's just going downhill. Of course, politicians are not getting any nicer, and people are freaking sociopaths these days. They're freaking psychopaths. And everyone gets triggered over the smallest thing, while also acting like complaining that people get triggered, and they want to act like nobody takes responsibility, yet they're the ones not taking responsibility. Yeah, I'm not really the biggest fan of modern-day American society, and I'm not going to act like other countries are always any better, but if I can find a less toxic environment, I will. If I can't, I guess I'll just stay here and probably just move to a different state, Probably a more isolated state. While also visiting my state from time to time to see family that I can, of course. And of course, that's it for Jared Ramirez questions. I'm going to move on to the next person. Alright. Benjamin Wheeler. What are your thoughts on Eurodance? It's essentially a subgenre of electronic music. I like Eurodance, actually. I was listening to some the other day, Eurodance is just really cool. I love Eurodance. It's, of course it had its peak in the 90s, and it's not as big as it used to be. But I don't mind. I still enjoy listening to it. I love Eurodance. I would kind of wish it'd make a comeback, but, it is what it is, unfortunately. Music is kind of dead to me. But I'll listen to it anytime, and if it makes a comeback, amazing. Number 2. If you were in charge at NRS, what would you do to make Mortal Kombat great again? Well, I would get new writers. I would definitely want to bring John Tobias back. I want people that understand the lore of MK and what made it great in the first place. I would also, okay, the guy that made Doom music and, Killer Instinct music, he said he'd be down to do music for MK. And, I would hire him. And it's just, music in MK is so freaking stock and boring nowadays. There's nothing to it. I wouldn't mind if the 3D era gameplay made a comeback, but I am fine with what we have now. Just stick to MKX gameplay. And I would want to treat all the MK characters with actual respect. Because MK doesn't really seem to treat their characters with respect anymore. And that is unfortunate, There's a lot of things I would do, but we'll get to that next. 3. Have you ever watched the Azumi movies? I have not. However, I do want to, because I've seen clips of them, and they seem like they'd be really good movies. I can't really think of much else to say, because I haven't really watched them. But alright. Number 4, and this last question I think I can tie into the next one. Do you think Jackie Chan is overrated? Now, I do like a lot of his movies. I do. I like the Police Story movies. I like Rumble in the Bronx. I like Around the World in 80s. I freaking love Rush Hour. That movie is hilarious. And, and he has done some admirable stuff when it comes to his stunts. Some of his stunts probably would have killed anyone else, but he managed to live through them. But, you know what? I would actually agree that, yeah, I do actually think Jackie Chan is overrated. Mainly, not that he's bad, it's just, because I want to get this opinion out of the way. Just because I think something is overrated does not mean I think it's bad. Yes, I can think something is both bad and overrated. But I can like something, but admit that it's also overrated. You know? I'm sick of this internet mentality that, oh, because you think something's overrated is bad, or everyone just using the term overrated to say it's bad. Because it's kind of a misused and overused term, both. You know? Probably one of the biggest ones on the internet, if I'm being honest. You know? But yeah. I would say he's overrated. Mainly, I think the main reason I do is this is gonna tie into your next question. You know, but they think, you know, like whenever a big new martial arts movie is being made, this isn't, I guess, always the case, but almost always they always got to get Jackie Chan. And yeah, I get it. He's famous. He's a big name, brand integrity, blah 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 blah. But like, you know, why not give somebody else a try? You know, give someone else who has potential a try. You know. But that's that. You know, I would say yeah, he is overrated. You know, but hey, he was doing his stuff from like the 60s to 2000s, so I don't think I could. You know. But that's my opinion on Jackie Chan. He's good for the most part, but overrated. Very overrated. Last but not least, do you think Jala Mary should have been pushed more in the 2000s? Honestly, yes. A lot of martial artists should have been pushed more. You know, and honestly, I want to see more martial arts movies. You know, like I saw some clips of him, I think you shared on Facebook. Same with Bolo Young. You know, I like, you know, and a bunch of other martial artists you've posted. And just watching their clips, even if I don't watch their movies, it's like, yeah, these guys have some pretty good moves going on, you know? These guys could be the next big martial arts star, but, you know, nobody apparently cares about martial arts movies anymore. And that's sad, because I want to see the genre be given another push, because in stuff like the 80s and 90s, and even the 2000s a little bit, martial arts movies were a big deal. You know. But yeah, again, it is what it is. Alright. Next questions. Yeah, next questions are from Stating the Obvious Dude. Number 1. Do you think anime has gone downhill since the 2010s? In some ways, yes. Like, I don't really care for a lot of harem anime and stuff that goes on. But at the same time, there have been some pretty good anime, you know. Demon Slayer's pretty good. My Hero Academia is pretty good. I wasn't really a big fan of Black Clover at first, but I heard it's actually gotten better. I think everyone knows Sword Art Online is bad, but everyone knows that. That's just beating a dead horse. Some other isekai has been good, like Shield Hero, reincarnated as a slime, and Konosuba and all that stuff. But I would say anime has probably been the best thing about the 2010s so far. Yeah, we've gotten some really bad anime. Like, when it's bad, it's really bad. But when it's good, it is really good, in my opinion. You know? Even if it's just like, say, an 11-episode anime like Inuyashiki. That was good. That was a good anime. But, yeah. Number 2. Do you think the 2020s will get worse or better? I think as of now, they're just gonna get worse. People are getting more crazy. People are getting stupider. You know? People are having a lot less respect for each other. You know? People suck. And we're just kind of in a really messed up state right now in the world. Whew. But that's all I'm going to say. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And that's not me trying to be a pessimist. That's just me telling it how it is, you know? Number 3. Are you worried about Sonic Frontiers being open world? Like, okay, I know people are getting sick of open world games, and I kind of get it too. But honestly, I don't think it bothers me that much. Not right now, to be honest. Because honestly, every Sonic game, except for the LEGO Dimensions for some reason, but every Sonic game has been shoving 2D in each of its games. Like, even Generations, when they had the boost levels, it was just like, you know, you get classic Sonic, who's 2D, and then you get modern Sonic, who's both 2D and 3D. Like, can I just have 3D? Like, if I want 2D, I got classic Sonic. Granted, I heard they were going to have Dreamcast Sonic in the game, but that got cut due to reasons, I guess? You know, well, like, not reasons, time constraints. I can't really think today, but, you know, sorry. But yeah. So I'm happy to see a fully 3D Sonic game, Ginch, which I don't think we've had since, like, what, Black Knight? So I really don't even care if it's open world. And I have played some open world fan Sonic games, and yeah, they're just little demos, but they're fun. And since this is going to be a fully fledged game, I think it has potential. You know, but I'm not having my hopes up for Frontiers because, I had my hopes up for Forces, and look what happened. Hopefully it is a good game, though. But I'm not having my expectations up. Number 4. What are some modern things you like in entertainment? Mainly music, movies, video games, TV, etc., etc. Okay, well, I admit most of the Cartoon Network Renaissance was good, like Regular Show and Adventure Time, Regular Show especially, are really daggum good shows. Music's mostly, like, underground music and some electronic music has been alright, but really the 2010s in terms of music has kind of sucked. Video games, I'll admit, 2017 was a good year for gaming. And there are good games out there, like Doom 2016, and, you know, like, yeah, there is good in the new age. It's just, I think the good kind of outweighs the bad, really. I mean, not the good. The bad outweighs the good. Ugh. The heck. But those are things I like in modern day entertainment. Movies. There's not been too much I like in terms of movies these days. Like, there are a few good ones, but nothing I can name off the top of my head at the moment. Number 5. How would you rank the DC animated shows? Okay, I do like the majority of the DC. Like, I think my favorite are the Justice League cartoons, personally, when it comes to the DCAU. And I like both. I like Batman the Animated Series and Superman the Animated Series both. Batman Beyond was really good. I like the 2004 Batman show. It is very, very underrated when it comes to Batman content. You know, of course, I like the Teen Titans 2003 show. There's a lot, but I might do a video on that, you know? I might do. But yeah, I wouldn't know how to rank them. You know, I've even thought about it, and I'm like, I wouldn't know. And you know, I even liked the Green Lantern show back then. You know, the CGI Green Lantern show. Alright. That's it for stating the obvious, dude. Let's see who's next. And next is the infamous Devil Trigger. First question. What will happen on the future of gaming? Will it be for the worse, or will it be for the better? I think it will in some ways, I think it might improve, you know, but some ways, not, like, okay. Online pay, like paying for online gaming on consoles, needs to die, in my opinion. I don't care if that means we only buy, you know, single-player games from that point, or, you know, we only play multiplayer at friends' houses, and we just stop playing online. Well, any game that is online supported is not in my interest, in my opinion, because once online servers go off, that game is over. You know, there is no reason to even play. It will literally age horrible in the future. Like, not even be able to be played. But, in places like that, I think it's just gonna get worse. Or, heck, stick to PC gaming when it comes to online. Or, but in some ways, a lot of game. But there's also the fact, and worse, that game companies like uh, Activision and Naughty Dog, they're just getting horrible and horrible. But, a lot of these companies are being called out, which is good. Call them out. Call out any company that does the kind of abusing employees crap. Because if you do that, you are a terrible human being, in my opinion. That is all. So I would probably say it'll probably get worse, but I think some things could get better. Like, yeah, like a lot of companies like Activision and Bethesda and Bungie, they are being bought out, but at the same time, there are always indie devs who are probably going to be the next big third-party devs once they, fully get, out of the indie phase. And hopefully they can be maybe that's just me being optimistic a little, but who knows. That's enough about that. Second question. How will you have saved Western and Japanese pop culture from the worst state on this generation? I think a lot of the fictional media I enjoy, not all of it. Some stuff is mostly purely Western influence, most is purely Japanese influence, and that's fine. But a lot of my favorite fictional media, it has a blend of both, like Mortal Kombat, Sonic, Metal Gear Solid, My Hero Academia. Takes great stuff from Western and Japanese culture, or Eastern culture, and combines it to make something really good. But at the same time, I think the main thing is, I think a lot of the blame goes to a lot of the weeaboos and westaboos both, who's like, no, Japanese culture, no, it's Western culture. Like, who the heck cares about that? I mean, fiction is fiction. Enjoy it. It's just, people can get really annoying. Like, I think stop a lot of that toxicity and realize that both have their props, but both have gone downhill in many ways, and I think the combination of working together can fix that stuff. We just need to be willing to grow, No, third question. What old gaming franchise do you want to be revived? I would have probably said Earthworm Jim, but I think that's getting a revival. I would like Conquer and Banjo and all those games to get revivals, although I know that's never gonna happen. I remember being really happy when Crash and Spyro got revivals, and those games got pretty good remakes, and they're good games. I was happy when Super Bomberman R came out. What else was there? What else would I like to see revived? Other gaming I would like to see F-Zero revived. Like, Nintendo, please stop sleeping on F-Zero. It's like, but we ran out of ideas, but GX was the peak. And I'm just like, why? I mean, they're good games, just make more. I would love to see a modern day F-Zero in HD graphics, It's not a series that needs to evolve, it just needs some really good stuff. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But that's enough about that. Fourth question, are you a fan of the Parasite Eve games? I like the first one. I haven't really played much else past that, but the first one was actually pretty scary, and it was pretty good, and Ava in that game, she was hot. Yeah. So, I haven't played much else past the first game, I'm sorry. But that is my opinion on that. But that's enough about that. Let's get on to the next person's questions. And the next person's questions come from JRAD316. I like the username. Number 1. Who are your top 10 favorite wrestlers of all times? I remember I was going to make a video on this, but just to quickly sum it up. Number 10, I would say Kurt Angle. He's very entertaining, and he's one of the best in-ring wrestlers of all time, and I also respect him as a sportsman, as he's did the Olympics, even won a medal with a broken neck. Good job, Kurt. You have my respect. Number 9, Brock Lesnar. Well, I don't really care for him much more these days because he's kind of just done everything, and I think he kind of just could retire at this point. I'd be content with it. But, and I know he's only really in the business for the money. But back then, and even early on when he started off as a part-timer, when he came back as a part-timer, I mean, he was really good. He was a monster, and some of his fights were the best. You know, probably one of my favorite big guys in all of wrestling. Number 8, Bill Goldberg. His streak in WCW is forever legendary. Number 7, Sting, probably my favorite WCW wrestler. My favorite gimmick of his 3 gimmicks, Surfer, Crow, and Joker, probably the Crow gimmick. Number 6, Y2J, Chris Jericho. Yeah, that's number 6. One of the best on the mic wrestlers. Amazing on the mic, amazing promos, amazing in-ring skills. I like Y2J. Number 5, Bret the Hitman Hart. Probably my favorite in-ring wrestler. And he's the best there is, best there was, best there ever will be. Number 4, Shawn Michaels. Another amazing in-ring wrestler with great promo skills and stuff, mic skills. And he's just very entertaining. Number 3, The Undertaker. He is a legend. His WrestleMania streak is legendary. And he's had some of the best matches and best feuds of all time. Number 2, The Rock. He is great. Just amazing promo guy. And he had just a lot of charisma, a lot of star power. And number 1, Stone Cold Steve Austin. You know, and that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. He had my favorite gimmick of all the wrestlers, so that's why he is my favorite. But yeah, that's my top. To sum it up, those are my top 10 favorite wrestlers and why. Number 2, what's your definition of good taste? Well, I think it is, taking care of yourself, realizing that your self-worth is important, but at the same time, respecting others, but also knowing to not care what they think and not let other things get to you. And that is the definition of good taste. And just being a decent human being as well. But also not being afraid to call out stuff that you don't agree with. That I would say is the most basic definition of good taste if I had to give it one. What changes would you make if you took over the gaming/entertainment industry? I think I would do a lot to change it. Like, again, online, pay-to-play online, that stuff's going. Alright? That's gotta go. But the entertainment industry, I would try to make their oversaturation not a thing. Like, I'd try to make a good balance of action, a good balance of comedy, a good balance of horror films, a variety, a good mix-up. Same with music, and TV, I think TV's just dead at this point. I think we all should just move on to streaming. Everyone's moving on to streaming at this point. I'm not the biggest fan of it either, but that's kind of just the future, whether you like it or not. But that's it for JRAD's questions, and we'll see who is next. Alright, next questions come from Killer J. What's up, Killer J? Number 1, what was your favorite Street Fighter game? Well, I hate being obvious, but I gotta say Street Fighter 2. I mean, that game is just so important to gaming. It brought a lot of great, memorable, unforgettable characters. It's still one of the best 2D fighting games to this day. and it revolutionized the genre. Definitely a really good game. I guess if I had my favorite version, probably Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo on the Super Nintendo. Pretty good version of the game. Though I do think 3 and 4 were still pretty good games, you know? And I think their cast of characters had potential. It's just, they didn't get the love that, the 2 cast did, which they deserve more. You know, it's kind of like the Mortal Kombat 3D era, in my opinion, where the characters on that era are just kind of slept on. Even though I think a lot more could have been done with them, in my opinion. And I'd love to see more with them. Though I guess if it's not Street Fighter 2, if I can't pick that one, I'd probably say Street Fighter Alpha 3. That's a really good game. I like the Alpha games, as they do a lot of prequel and do a lot of backstory and stuff. But also they are really fun games to play, and they are really well designed. But yeah, that's my opinion on my favorite Street Fighter game. Good series. Number 2, what is your favorite Iron Maiden song? Now, I'll be honest, I haven't listened to much Iron Maiden in a while. I need to get back into listening to them. But I guess if I had to say my favorite song from them, probably The Trooper. Really dang good song. Number 3, what's your favorite Angry Video Game Nerd episode? There's a lot of good episodes. A lot of them. Though if I had to say my favorite episodes, I guess the Mega Man games one was really good. The Bugs Bunny episodes are hilarious. A lot of the LJN episodes, I like the Bill and Ted episode. AVGN's really good. It's hard to say. I guess if I had to say, I would probably just say, yeah, probably the Bugs Bunny episodes, because those are just hilarious. You know? Number 4, what are your favorite seasons of RMG Rebooted? RMG Rebooted? Probably the current one. I like what you've been doing. You know, I like how you kind of started from scratch, but you're still going. I think you're at season 14 right now, is it? I'm sorry if I'm wrong on that, but, you know, I think you do good stuff. You keep going at your stuff, Killer J. You're probably one of the few reasons I stay on YouTube, dude. And number 5, what is your favorite Halo game? Probably the third game. I heard Infinite was actually good, and I really need to check it out. But, you know, I like how Master Chief, it's really sad. Rest in peace, Sergeant Johnson. And just, it was a really good game, and I think it had the best atmosphere and the best gameplay. Had a pretty good campaign, too. Like, I love the lore. I love how the original trilogy did a very good job expanding on the lore of the Halo and stuff. And Master Chief was probably the most successful in this game, you know? So that's all my opinions on that's my questions. Thanks, Killer J, for the questions. And let's see who is next. Super Sega Ultra. Super Sega Ultra, yes. Number 1, what is your favorite anime? I don't know. There's a lot of good animes. It's just hard to pick. If I had to pick right now, I don't know. There's a lot of good stuff. That's a really hard question, dude. You know what, I'm just gonna this is probably a placeholder for now. But, I did recently watch Full Metal Alchemist. It was a really good anime. I've watched a few episodes of Sergeant Frog recently. It's really good. You know, right now, I am just gonna say probably Outlaw Star, because I really love that anime. Really good anime. That's just a placeholder for now, but that's that. Number 2, what is your favorite game of all time? Right now, I've actually been playing the Sonic Adventure games on Steam, actually. They're really good games. I actually want to say SA2 is probably my favorite video game of all time. Because that is a game that really influenced me a lot when it came to video games. You know? Storytelling-wise and gameplay-wise, really good game. Again, those are just placeholders for now, but, you know. Number 3, what's your favorite genre of music? Alternative rock. I like metal, but rock and metal. I guess just rock because I think there's a little more variety. But I do like metal too. Number 4, what are your favorite things from childhood? I mean, a lot of the cartoons I grew up with, a lot of, from my time, like, of the 2000s, and a lot of the Super Nintendo games I've played, because I played a lot of those games in my childhood. Really good games. Same with Sega Genesis. PS2, there's a lot of things I like from my childhood. And number 5, what's your favorite food? I would say my favorite food, I would say pizza, but I'll admit I've kind of gotten bored of pizza as of late. I would also say chicken, but I don't know, there's a lot of foods I've just can kind of get. I actually would say sandwich clubs right now. I don't know, I've had a thing for those as of late. They're really, I don't know, maybe it's just me being simple, but I think those are really good. And that's actually all the questions. Let me go up to the doc. I think Christian, he's a cool dude. He asked a question. I think YouTube deleted his comment. I couldn't see it. I didn't remember the question in time. I'm really sorry, dude. I might make a video on just for your question, or I might make an edit. Unless he deleted the comment himself. But thank you, Super Sega Ultra. Thank you, Killer J. Thank you, J-Rad. Thank you, Infamous Devil Trigger. Thank you, Stating the Obvious Dude. Thank you, Benjamin Weaver. Thank you, Jared Ramirez. And thank you, Sonic Shadow, for all the questions. There's a lot of questions, but you know what? I'm fine with it. I might split this Q&A into 2 parts. We'll see. But y'all have a great rest of the day. I'm happy to be back on YouTube, and I'll try to make videos whenever I can. See y'all later. Bye.